This is Hit Publish, the first podcast dedicated to uncovering heroic businesses secretly navigating the ever-changing digital landscape. Each episode, we'll play host to leaders in their fields discussing their adoption of the latest digital trends and related technologies, addressing the total effects on the way we market businesses and brands across all of our industries. And occasionally, we'll pay homage to the technology giants who dictate our online lives and the platforms they provide, reminding ourselves of the self-inflicted and inevitable misuse of personal data. So if this all sounds good to you, skip the terms and conditions, ignore the privacy policy, and hit subscribe.
Hello both.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Ian.
It's nice to be back.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just sort my chair.
Today's special guest is us.
Hey!
Way.
Hang
Lucky
on.
you.
Hang on. Fucking chair. Sat on some chairs in my time, but this. Okay. We're ready.
Are
I'm
we
comfortable. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we starting again? Was
No, just go with it.
Freestyle.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, this is okay.
So, hello, welcome to another episode of Hit Publish. Bit of a different one. This one. This is episode. Is it? We've had this discussion. Is it episode? It kind of is episode 10, isn't
Episode
it? Really.
10. Yep.
So we thought we'd do 10 episodes per season, and we'll wrap it up today because it's the end of the year, or coming up to the end of the year. It's nearly Christmas,
Christmas.
and feeling festive and all that. And we thought we'd sit down and go through, talk about the guests that we've had on, and sort of wrap up the year and talk about what we're going to do next year and all that kind of stuff. I think it's fair to say that we've learnt a lot.
Yeah. Good
Well,
to review and have a look what we've done. I was just looking when the first one was, when we spoke to Richley. That was right at the end of August. So,
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So it's a good 6 months.
3 months. 6 months.
6 months.
August, September, October, November, December. 4 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's see what we think of it.
Yeah.
See what worked, what didn't.
We've got some questions as well we've sort of saved for this. But thinking about it, as we discussed earlier, we probably should have asked the questions sooner because the people aren't here to answer them.
No.
Fail.
We can guess answers or make up answers, or we'll ask the people. and
We'll
then
tell you what we
get
think.
back. Yeah.
And then you can write email complaints later to ian.hooper@nowtits.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thanks for pushing out that email address. That's,
And I just wonder, are all the questions from your mum, Sam, or did you
Yeah.
get some genuine ones?
No. I've got my mum and my auntie.
Ah, okay, nice,
So,
nice.
yeah,
Good,
cool.
good.
It's all good.
should we talk about before we get into it though, should we talk about our plans for next year?
Surely that comes at the end. Surely we review the first year as we're doing this kind of review meeting.
All right. Well, obviously I've
talk
got
about
loads of
that.
experience in this. So,
Well, just that would seem the chronological way to look at things.
fair enough.
Big word.
Let's do it that way. Let's do it that way.
Tease with what's coming next year, because listeners won't believe
They won't.
it's gonna blow their mind.
Ian
So-
won't believe it either.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to it.
That's not good.
So let's sort of review then. So we started this. Why did we start this podcast? Well, first of all, it's all the rage.
Yeah.
We're just
Everyone's
copying
doing it.
everyone else.
Yeah, just jumping on the bandwagon really. But I've learned that actually I quite enjoy it.
Yep.
And B, I wanted to meet and talk to interesting, like-minded people.
Yep.
And let's be honest, I wanted to get some business off the back of it.
And how's that part worked for you?
Yeah, we've got a couple of things. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, not enough.
No, and I think some people, some customers, etc., have said that they've listened to it, and I think for me that's what a large part of what it's about. We kind of, we're showing that we don't know everything about all this digital marketing, but we connected and we've having some interesting chats about the right people, and we've learnt through the people that we've spoke to. So yeah, I feel more rounded as an individual.
Yeah,
as
it's a good
result of
educational
these
piece as
chats.
well for ourselves and clients and people we speak to every day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And
Yeah.
fundamentally, I think we enjoy it, don't we?
Yeah.
It's good crack.
Being stuck in a room with you two.
In
it's all right.
a
It's all
really
right. It's all
small room with no heating or
and
conditioning.
no soundproofing. So
Some
to the
homemade soundproofing.
some Nettl supplied what they
DIY.
called.
Fabric banner stands.
That's right. Yeah, which
You can get your fabric banner stands by ordering. No,
but I think we might need to soundproof it for the next one, because although when I do the edit, there's tools available to me to sort of cut out background noise and that kind of stuff. It's not entirely perfect, and when you listen to like other podcasts that have got that soundproofing, it is a million miles away.
Ian,
fairness,
Ian, the soundproofing, it could be all that, but what really makes a difference is when you remember to press the right flipping button when we're recording.
That's true.
So
that would help.
That's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, we have had a couple of episodes.
How many out of the 10? So I reckon, we've done 10
3
in total, haven't we? So three out of 10. You were
3 episodes.
You're
failed.
70%. You've got one job. You're 70% there.
One job.
Managing to press the right button.
What are our jobs here? So I do the edit and messing up the sound. And Chris is like our booker.
Indeed.
Guest booker.
I don't do a lot, but I
Admin.
get some people along, get some people in.
And Sam plays the important role of just rocking up.
Yep.
And representing his mum.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah, I think she's featured on most episodes.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some of the episodes that we've had, starting right back at the beginning with Rich Lee. He was actually my favourite guest so far.
Radioactive PR, talking about the kind of link between how PR's changed in a increasingly online world.
That's right, yeah, and how traditional PR has taken a back seat. And I, from the conversation we had, it was almost like PR has turned into SEO.
Yeah, definitely closely linked. It'd be quite good to get Rich and Alan, who we'll talk about later, but get them in the same room and have a little arm wrestle about.
They know each other, don't they?
Yeah. They do bits together. So yeah.
Will it be like Batman versus Superman, or?
Oh, I don't know.
Or Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Come together.
But I really enjoyed having a chat with him and learning about that and understanding a bit more about PR, because I was always skeptical. And the big question that is always asked to PR agencies is how they measure return on investment. And now with how the digital world and how SEO plays a major part in it, it is now sort of a lot more measurable.
Tangible, yeah, definitely. And he's also since done some kind of YouTube videos about
PR in a car.
PR in a car is one
good.
thing, actually, which is just him chatting as he drives along, which is all good. But no, he did another, I think he shared like a presentation which went similar to what we covered in our podcast chat with him, but showing more about the metrics and all that sort of stuff about some quite interesting things in there. So,
and are they just using standard SEO measuring tools that we all know and love?
Like value or rankings of the sites that they've got links on and all those sorts of things. So
it's just become SEO, hasn't it, for them? I think we also said we asked Rich if traditional PR still plays a role, that sort of handshaking, not what you know, it's who you know. And it does, it still does, but there's a lot more value to be had in
I wasn't actually there for that episode, but if I was, I would have asked.
Best one, Sam, I think. That's why I went so well.
Yeah, because I wasn't there. I'll just leave now, shall I? No, I would have asked him about that sort of link between the measurable stuff, the SEO and all the rest of it, and the big brand stuff that they do. Because a lot of PR is getting the awareness and being associated with the right people. I wanted to actually ask him a little bit more about that, but hopefully
we said we'd get him in again to have a further chat on stuff like that, and more so the sort of other arm or new arm to his business that's more focused on influencer marketing, which will be interesting.
Okay.
We briefly did you listen to the episode?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
Yeah. I do remember. I did listen to one ago, but I remember him saying
it annoyed me that one of the highest paid sort of influencers is one of the Kardashians, the Kendall, is it? Yeah. Just annoys me. I don't know why she exists. Kylie?
Yeah.
Whatever.
She's a billionaire, by the way, just to wind up.
Yeah, but why?
Because she sells makeup.
Yeah, but the whole family annoys me. None of them have any talent. None of them sing. None of them dance. None of them are artists.
Okay,
they're just...
How do you define talent?
Say again?
How do you define talent?
You have a particularly good skill set.
Their talent is getting a lot of awareness and attention.
No, but how did they get there in the first place?
Someone made a naughty tape.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it wasn't so with kids and stuff. I've just been watching Celebrity thingy. Caitlyn Jenner's been in there.
Oh yeah.
So she's formerly an Olympic champion.
It is only the two fathers, so him
and
father, mother, whatever you want. And did you watch? Changing the subject slightly. Did you watch the Golden Globes where Ricky Gervais hosted and he said that remark about her?
No, I didn't.
I've seen it on YouTube.
He just said something along the lines of, because he takes a piss out of all the audience, and he came on stage, he said, it's okay, I've changed, I'm not going to be like that this time, I've changed, but not as much as Bruce Jenner. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the fathers, so him
Yeah,
And
Robert Kardashian, I think his name is.
I don't know, the proper dad.
He's a lawyer.
And done very well and whatever. So those two.
He got OJ out of jail.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the only two that really have any, I don't know, credibility, if you like. But the rest of them,
but now
nonsense.
they're probably the poorest out of the Kardashians.
That's true.
They've played the digital marketing game then, surely. I don't watch it and I don't know anything about it. But if they've got famous just from being online and influencers and TV, they're
famous for being famous.
They're having the laugh.
Famous for the sake of being famous. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, moving on. We're not here to talk about
absolutely not.
But Rich Lee was really cool.
That was episode 1.
Yeah, and I think we'll get him in again. It was really good. And then after that, we had Simply Social, didn't we?
Yes,
Georgie,
we did.
yeah.
Well, actually, we didn't record them in any particular order.
Don't give away the secrets.
I think Simply Social actually came first.
Oh,
I can't remember.
I don't know, but let's go with the order.
But Simply Social was the first one with the crap recording because I forgot to press the right button.
Okay.
Yep.
So our apologies to Georgie for the quality of the recording on that.
I've got a phone call coming in, guys. I'm going to have to pause it quickly because I actually need to take that phone call.
Oh my!
Sorry about that. That was I'm having some Nest thermostats installed in the house, and that was the guy who's coming to do it.
You are in the house of the future.
Yeah. The trouble is, if the internet goes down, can't switch on any lights, can't turn any heating on. Can't.
Oh, nice, because you just moved, haven't you? So it's all
getting all. It's the same gear that I had in the other house. It's just getting it all fitted in there. So moving on. It was good fun having a chat with Georgie. Now she's a startup pretty much. More so established now as we're further down the line. But a startup for freelance sort of social media management. And I was always skeptical of social media managing because I've sort of the mind that you can't manage a social media channel unless you're in the business.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they're on the daily and up to speed with everything that's going on of the moment. But I think she
does a good job.
We put that question to her, didn't we? Almost, and she answered.
We did, But that answer, it swayed me a little bit, and I get it. I'm still of the. She goes into the businesses, which kind of gives that of the moment stuff that she can get hold of, but the way that she manages the clients in order to get the content over to her, etc. She's still very much so reliant on the client to deliver some of the content. Otherwise, she'll handle the rest of it. And I think it's a good business model. And from what I understand, she's doing quite well.
Good, yeah.
It makes sense to have an expertise in putting stuff out on social combined with the business owner. I can kind of see.
Yeah, that collaboration.
I remember her talking about a butcher's meat.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
And so that was a standout for me. But a butcher typically isn't going to know what it needs to do on social. So
I think also a lot of people view social media as a box ticking exercise. I've got to do social media because everyone else is doing social media.
Got to have a Facebook, got to have a Twitter.
And that's just the wrong way to look at it, of course, as we know. And I think that
getting a practitioner in to help you with that and do it well.
And have a strategy and have an end goal and a point behind it, as opposed to just a box ticking exercise.
She did say
exactly what Georgie does.
When she's talking about the butcher's meat, is that they don't want the whole world seeing all their meat. It's about interacting with the local community.
That's right.
It's really cool. Yeah,
that's right.
And that message. What's the message? That message was tied links to Polly, who we spoke to next. Actually, just a little segue in this on because the big takeaway there and their maybe system was about getting brands to engage with social media and not just having for some of the big high street brands, not just having someone in head office that does social media for them, but having the kind of high street shops put in posts out locally to do all that stuff. So
I actually played with maybe tech with the system, and I thought it was really cool. It was interesting to see, I quite like the sentiment analysis thing. I plugged in some of the accounts that we manage, and I found for the smaller accounts, a couple hundred followers, nothing really major going on. It's hard for them to really do anything with the data because there's just not enough. But if you're managing a big account with, 10, 20, 30, 40,000 followers and lots of comments and mentions and tweets and, lots of things going on, lots of information, their system kind of parses that out for you and makes it really easy to understand and then take action and deal with most of that. I didn't play around too much with the ranking side of things, but Overall, I thought it was really cool. Maybe more beneficial for, larger brands than maybe the smaller startups, your Butcher and the rest of it.
Is that because there wasn't enough data to play
Pretty
with?
much that's it. That's just not enough data.
In fairness, I think that's the case for most social listening tools.
Indeed. If I have one little niggle, I didn't like the UI very much. It's a bit... Nah, it's subjective. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And but I thought, it's cool, but didn't blow me away. But it's how it looks.
Yeah, I think the digital index stuff is something quite innovative.
That was
doing
cool.
Well. It's quite interesting to
definitely.
see, because I've had a play and seen it from a town's perspective and kind of seeing what accounts in that town are
doing well.
Putting more noise out there and all that sort of stuff. So, but I think like with all these things, it's quite exciting because it's new and they're evolving all the time. I hear
of course.
They're due to have an app out for it soon, which I think as
Okay.
most people do, social on their phones, etc. I think that'll be quite handy to easier to use. So I guess with all these things that are on the go and evolving all the time, it's kind of
it's growing and it's I think it will get better as it scales. Like with most networks and social networks, the more people you have using it, the better it gets, because then also, of course, gives them more data to work on and improve the product. And also if they get more businesses using the product, that'd be really, really good. Mm-hmm. Moving on.
Good stuff. Number 4 was we got Emily and Jason in from the UK Drick, our sort of tenants in this pod that we're in, our podcast pod.
Roomies.
Yeah. They talked about what the Drick was all about, explaining that.
Could I just butt in? I've been quiet for a minute.
Just
Yeah, shut up, Chris. No, sorry, I was quiet for a moment, and the reason I was quiet is because I was just looking back at that episode and with Maybe Tech and looking at the notes, and the news popped up in front of me that we covered that particular day. Do you remember we spoke briefly about Waymo's robot taxi service?
Yeah.
And how riders can sort of a bit like an Uber.
I've seen it. I've actually watched a video, a couple of videos about it on YouTube.
Okay, well, the reason why I brought that up again, a bit off subject, but they are now driverless.
Yeah, no, that's I saw it on YouTube. It's really weird.
Yeah. So remember last time I said to you that there is someone sitting in the car just for safety purposes. They're now on to stage, 2 or 3 of that testing, and now the drivers are gone.
And the car just out on the road by itself.
Yeah.
With people in the back.
I think the people that are testing it though are they
signed
loads of waivers and stuff.
If I die, I'm not going to sue Google.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So it's happening. I definitely think in our lifetime we're going to see cars.
I mean, I'm a bit younger than you, so I've got more chance. But yeah.
All right. There's not much in it.
Yeah.
Christ.
I'm glad that was directed at you as well.
It's usually at you, isn't it?
Yeah. I saw a stand-up comic talking about these driverless cars. Actually, he's a blind stand-up comic, so he's like, driverless cars, brilliant, bring them on, I'll be able to take down the road. He said, but the other thing that's taken off a lot is a lot of electric cars, and they go around silently, so probably before I get to benefit from getting in a driverless car, I'll be run over by one. So yeah.
I went to see Ramesh Ranganathan
a
few days ago.
Quality.
Just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, thanks. I've read his book recently, so it's good.
Straight out of Crawley.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good fun. Anyway, carrying on. Go on, Chris. Sorry about that. I butted in talking about UK Drick.
Yeah, well, no,
that was 2 guests.
It was
in one.
2 for the price of 1.
Bargain.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a lot more to say about that. It was hearing all about what the Drick is on about. We're obviously still living here and still part of that. There's been a few little.
Are we gonna? I think we spoke briefly about sort of renting this space out
to other people.
Yeah.
For sharing all the gear.
Sharing all the podcast gear. So other podcast people can come and do podcast stuff.
In the podcast room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to say podcast.
All the gear's here.
That's it. I think we should let's put that out there now. If you want to use our room, guys, give us a shout, drop us a message on the website. But I think do you remember Adam? Adam Blackman.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a listener.
Is he?
He is. Yeah.
Oh, hello, Adam.
Drop me a message. I don't know if he's listening. He'll be listening to this one, but what he's like. He loves his opinions on the political climate.
Yeah.
So, and he's
speaking of politics, I'm going to butt in again.
I think we should have. This scares me.
If we started something, we shouldn't have gone.
Yeah. Did you see how much the different? I'm not going to it, but how much they spent on social ads
Nice.
in the last couple of weeks going up to the
I
election?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting, and it was.
But I mean, minor in comparison.
In comparison to what they spend, they probably spend tens of millions on television and all the rest of it.
No. I mean, the money spent for the Trump campaign on social.
Yes, but that's America. That's 300 million people.
Well, whatever.
It's a lot more money. Yeah, but I thought it was interesting because I don't think. I mean, I certainly hadn't seen that from the UK and sort of politicians dipping into digital and social and all the rest of it.
Where would they have got that data from? Find that?
From Facebook's ad library.
Okay.
So you can actually see. I think it's because it's a political thing. They a bit more transparently tell you how much has been spent by each party and all the rest of it.
Right,
I can't go in and see how much
No, they have. I think we covered that in the news article. They've now got to be a lot more transparent with it. They've got to say where it's coming from, how much they spent, who they're targeting. There's loads of metrics.
Do I remember seeing? Did Labour spend the most?
Yes.
It's embarrassing.
So online advertising doesn't work then, does it? Okay.
Wasn't it the worst turnout for them
Yes, it was.
in history or something?
Yeah.
I think Tony Blair's piped up recently to have a whinge.
Oh, really?
I don't give a shit. Did you vote anyway?
I did.
Did you vote?
Yeah.
Go on.
What?
Who did you vote for?
I went Lib Dem in my area. This is going to turn people against me.
Lib Dem?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, I did one of them online polls, and it came out with that Lib Dem would be most aligned to what some of my thoughts were.
Yeah.
But in my local area, I went Conservative because I think he does good for the area, and I went that way.
Which one's that one? What's his name?
I can't even remember. It's not. I'm not actually in. I know the Gloucester chap.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Richard Graham.
That's
he got back in. I think all of Gloucestershire is Conservative now, but
Really?
I think we should move on from politics.
Agreed. It's fucking boring. Yeah.
But
The contempt you have for this top subject is actually really insane.
That's boring.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we spoke to Cloudera. Well, we didn't speak to Cloudera.
I spoke to Adrian.
We spoke to Adrian from Cloudera. That one was a beast, wasn't it?
Yeah. That one.
Well, not a beast. I mean, they just do it on a much larger scale. But it was interesting to see how enterprise level digital marketing works and what works for them.
Yeah.
Because it's complete opposite to SMEs in that it's things like case studies. Really work for them. I guess because the turnaround is so much longer, isn't it?
Yeah. That was really interesting to see how long it takes to go from initial, first touch to actual, sales, money, conversion, whatever.
And they were doing like the kind of science behind lead generation quite in depth because of the volume of people they get through. So how they get them in the top of the funnel and push their customers through and all that sort of stuff was interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it was interesting as well on what type of person who is shopping for a particular service would go into that much depth to read a case, take the time to download a 10-page case study, read that 10-page case study, and then move forward through the funnel from there. That's the product, the service offering has got to be a beast.
And you've got to be pretty darn interested by that point, and
exactly.
To consume information before to.
Exactly, that's my point. So you've got to be, you're genuinely interested if you're going to take that.
To be fair, I do it depends on the field, right? It's just what those people are trying to do is trying to either improve their results for their company or get better or, learn more about I don't understand the data point, but and it's only the same as what we do when Facebook publish a case study or, we find stuff online that we've got 20 odd pages and we'll sit and look through anyway. It just maybe their stuff's a bit more boring.
But the point I was making is that it feels like you're already partway through a sale if you've got someone to invest the time to read a 10-page.
Yeah, that's it. They've got to be
10-page case study.
Buying signals are strong at that point. Aren't they?
Exactly. But still the turnaround is months,
years, months and years. Yeah,
indeed. That was cool. Some of the tech that they use was interesting.
Big boy stuff.
Yeah. Some of that stuff. I looked further into.
I looked at some of the pricing for some of those toys. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why. Buying process is longer, and you got to convert.
Yeah, thousands and thousands per month.
I'm just looking at the show notes on the helpful website at hitpublish.digital, by the way, where you can catch up on show notes and subscribe to all your episodes.
Shameless plug.
I just noticed that you messed up the sound on that one as well, Ian.
Did I?
Yeah.
I remember that actually.
That was that's 2 up to now. So Yeah, good.
Good.
I think number 3 was Jonathan Pollinger.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
Was it
remember.
Jonathan Pollinger?
Yeah,
I think it was.
yeah.
That was a cool episode as well. I just want to go back to Cloud Era, actually, because I'm...
No, next was... it wasn't, it was Joe Nefos. So,
Oh, was it?
yeah.
Yeah, so next was we had Joe in from Nefos Accounting. So they had recently rebranded from
Indeed.
DS Accounting to Nefos. And can you remember why that was? Well, not why that was, or the meaning behind Nefos, because I thought that was quite cool. I remember. I'm just wondering if you guys do.
I do remember. Yeah.
Go on.
on, you first, Chris.
Nephology
That's
is the
it, yeah.
study of Greek, from Greek, but looking at clouds and predicting future from clouds type stuff.
That's right. Yeah,
There
I thought
we
that
go.
was cool.
Joe will be happy that we remembered that.
Yeah, that's right. I thought that was a good sort of a good rebrand and a good. The logo is quite cool, and I quite like their website and all that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
very,
Sassy.
it's very, yeah,
As we
exactly.
said before,
Yeah. It's cool.
So yeah, he was putting a new spin on boring accountancy to kind of work in amongst your business and use sort of digital tools
Yeah, they're
to make your business work harder and for you. Yeah.
And they're doing all the right things because I see them on LinkedIn a lot, going to a lot of tech events right now,
Indeed.
fintech events, and they're obviously trying to jump on board with that. And
like your tech accountants.
Yeah, I think is what it is, and using the right tools for the right people for the right circumstances, as opposed to just chucking tech for the sake of tech in people's faces.
Yeah.
And I think they're on board and partnered with a few of like those guys that we know and love.
Yeah.
I quite like the I can't remember what it's called, the card for your expenses. What's
Is that Pleo one? Pleo? Yeah.
Pleo, yeah.
Nice.
I think that's quite a cool idea,
Yeah.
and what they're doing there is quite cool. I think they've recently won a startup tech award as
Okay.
well. Actually, we were talking about someone else who won something like that. Yeah, so
And funny enough, we talked a bit in amongst that about bank accounts, and I want to move from my current bank, which I won't name, but I want to move from them.
Just name it.
are you
Name
guys
and shame.
doing-
name it.
Barclays. I'm getting problems. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not ideal. But are you with one of these new kind of banking?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Which one are you with?
Starling.
Yeah. Okay.
And Monzo, actually. So I use Starling for just day-to-day and business, actually. The business is on it.
Yeah.
And I use Monzo for if I'm overseas and spending money over there.
Okay.
Because their
Jet
rates and stuff
setting.
are good. But saying that, Starling have recently jumped on board with all that kind of stuff as well. So I think their exchange rates are now the same as the actual... I don't know what you call it, like
The actual exchange.
yeah,
rate, I
there's
guess,
no markup or anything like that.
that everyone else pays. Suckers.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Chris, get involved.
again, just on the show notes page, but you mentioned Revolut. That was another option, wasn't it? So they
Revolut,
similar
they're
to
similar
Starling,
kind of-
so
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember which is best, but yeah, perhaps
I think
speak
Starling-
to Joe and ask him whether Starling or Revolut is going to work.
No, it won't be Revolut. It'll be Starling or Monzo.
Okay.
Primarily because I think both of those are what is it called? Where they're
FSCS
registered.
protected.
That's right. Yeah, so they're official.
Got you.
Also, I think they're
Bit more-
old dogs, and they've
Yeah.
got loads. Yeah, they're just well more on board with it.
A bit more nous. Way.
Yeah, the
Nice,
sign-up
okay.
process of those things, like because I was with Barclays previously to Starling as well, and to
Yeah.
both open the account and close it, there was lots of hoop jumping, going in there, signing documents, post this, that, and the other.
Boring.
When you sign up to Starling, you can do it from your phone, and it's quite cool. You sort of have to record yourself saying on the phone, "Hi, I'm Chris Nyland," in your case, and blah blah blah, and that sends off to them, and that proves who you are along with your
Yeah,
ID and whatever, and you can just do it on your couch.
And
It's
also,
the future.
I've been moaning because I've got to go. Some people still pay us by check, which
Wow.
is a different, it's a different story. But I get some charities may
Okay.
need to and get countersigned that sort of stuff. But some people pay their monthly hosting fee by check, which we're ceasing in the new year. But anyway, yeah,
Monthly.
Yeah.
They're writing
I
a
know.
check every month.
yeah. And
Why? There's just no reason for it.
I know. Okay, and so a little gripe as well is that so Barclays have just changed. So the check has now got to be made payable to my full company name, including the word limited on the end of it.
Right.
And where some people have sent me a check where it doesn't have that, they won't pay it in anymore. And now I've spoken to some of those people.
Surely you
going,
can just
you
write
reissue the
LTD
check?
on the end.
You can't fit it in on some of these.
Oh,
So,
really?
and then I've said to some of these people, sorry, but the check needs to now be made payable to so and so. And they've gone, okay, can you send it back to me? And then I'll reissue a new one. And I can I just like rip it up and show you I've ripped it up and then send me, I can't. So anyway, that's
a nightmare.
But even if you cashed it, they'd see that you've cashed it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they go, oi. But I know. So,
Very
but I hear with Starling and such like, you can just take a photo of your check, and then it's already, and then you pays in.
You can
Pays
indeed.
in.
Oh,
Yeah,
and for, I think for cash withdrawals and check deposits, it's any post office.
Yeah, it is.
Not that I've ever made use of that.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I'm going to go one further.
Go on.
So I've recently moved house, and the experience of moving house is always painful, as we know. But going through that process again, it just dawned on me how old-fashioned the process is, the legality side of it. It just desperately needs some kind of cool tech firm to come along and just make that process so much easier. I had to fax something to yeah.
You look so disgusted here.
How much of a faff that was. I had to go to a library and all sorts of nonsense for the legal firm, and signing documents as well.
Can't you use DocuSign or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. This is my point. So why has it not moved that far? Yeah.
I do know of a local company that does conveyancing solicitor type stuff, but you can do like via FaceTime to kind of, because you've got to prove who you are for money laundering stuff.
Yeah, of course,
go in there or whatever, but they can do it via FaceTime.
Exactly. So why?
Well,
I asked that question to the solicitor and said, can we just, because they were like, I'd done it like I looked online for whatever, and they were based in, I don't know, Mars or something, and so I was like, can we not just do a FaceTime thing instead of me having to drive all the way there to come and see you? And they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's doable. But yeah,
it's just old school. See, Google just needs to come along and do something, so I can just press a button and it all happens.
if we're having a moan about some of this stuff, like we are, it's like
grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Therapy session for us at the moment. But the other thing that annoys me is like when you need to get internet installed. So I don't know how you've got on with this moving to a new house.
Well, because it's a brand new build.
Yeah.
That it's now standard in brand new houses that they must have fibre to the house direct to the door, and it's all installed and ready to go when you move in. So when we moved in the sort of like cupboard bit that we've got, there's a box on the wall and the router and everything in there, good to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice, like that. For transferring for business, when I moved business address, like month without internet and stuff, and it's in this day and age, and it's internet, and it's come on. But
given what you do for a living, internet is quite important.
Yeah, we were caning some dongles for a little while there, getting into that. But
okay,
anyway,
moving on. We've had a proper whinge. Yeah. Moving on. We're half an hour into the episode, guys.
Oh, my word.
At least 50 minutes of it is moaning.
Yeah. Who was next on the hit list?
Number 7. In at 7, we had Jonathan Pollinger.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that one as well, actually. I think that was my second favourite. Not to say that all the others were rubbish, of course they weren't. But I think it was nice and relevant, as was Rich Lee with PR. This Jonathan Pollinger, it was good to have him in. He doesn't so often do podcasts as a guest anyway, as far.
No, he hosts his own show.
Exactly, he has his own show, and he has his own Facebook Live show, which you
I featured on.
Sam, tell us what you spoke about there.
I can't remember.
Good.
Tell us.
Exciting, then.
Tell us how it was for you being recorded live then.
Scary as hell.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Have you not done that before?
No, that was my first time.
Not that I'm a veteran of it.
Yeah, no.
Couldn't think of anything worse, to be honest.
No, it was weird. It took me like 10 minutes into it to really actually get into it and to get over the fact that I'm live on the internet for the whole world to potentially see me.
Were you
Don't flatter yourself, Sam.
Yes.
I don't think of the whole world. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Definitely not.
4 or 5 max. All of those were your family.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for the support, guys. You know. No, actually, it was quite cool. It was quite different. It was a different experience, and it was actually a good chat. We talked a lot about some of the tactics that we use at Nous to help clients grow and sell online and all the rest of it. I do remember it was a really good conversation we had with him about social, and we talked about Nous and what we did and Google Ads and why people should start running ads and SEO and as opposed to SEO. And we actually had some questions live.
Okay.
Which was weird because I was already nervous about being live, and I was on the spot being asked questions through the comments. Like, okay,
no time to think about it.
No time to think about it. No time to do any research. But it went quite well, and people obviously got good answers out of me, so it was all good.
But with Jonathan, he made some interesting predictions, and I think we're going to get him in again another time to sort of see if those predictions come to light. But so Jonathan is a social media trainer, and we put the same question to him, didn't we, as we did to Georgie about can you run a social media? So he doesn't really run social media channels as
Nope.
such. From the conversation we had, he just trains how to make use of
Upskills
social media.
the in-house
That's
people
right,
to do it. Yeah,
That's right. So they can do it for themselves in house, which I think
That's a
is
cool
a
concept.
good. Yeah, is probably the best. And it was an interesting question that we put to him. How do you get Joe Blogs, the boring accountant, to be exciting on social media?
Yeah.
And I imagine that's a challenge for him in most cases. But yeah, it was a good chat with Jonathan. I enjoyed it. We spoke about the social media marketing trends that he's seeing on the horizon, some changes that at that particular time, which now have actually happened. So Jonathan does a cool WhatsApp
Daily bulletin
yeah,
kind of
that's
thing,
right. And now WhatsApp is pulling that feature, of course.
Yeah.
So I think he'll probably move over because he stopped doing it via email, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because the open rates, etc., wasn't as great as they are with WhatsApp. So I wonder what he's moving over to now. Do you know? Because you talk to him a lot, innit?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I'm not sure what he's moving on to next, but I will have a look and let you guys know in season 2.
Yeah, it's good. If you're not already, have a search for Jonathan Pollinger and sign up to his updates, because he fires out daily updates of social media news, what's happening in the industry, cool new tech and tools that are
Sounds like we're in the
available to us.
JP fan club.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
Wow.
It's all right.
No, he's a good dude.
Cool. Well, who came up next?
Tony Bicknell, Smart World Connect.
I'm gonna let you handle this one, Chris, because I can't quite remember that one too much.
That's a bit rude, but Smart World Connect. It's kind of making a digital community hub, so like a collection
yes.
of apps and things.
Yeah.
So it's quite cool talking about the new Google Flutter technology, which was making makes app building simpler, I think, for people. And again, it's sort of almost a theme of a couple of others that we've done here, but it's a way of getting more people connected,
getting the local communities
in the real world, connected in on the app there.
Is it actually up and running and live now? Can't remember.
I don't think so. No,
not yet.
I think they've got one town that's doing it. I know Gloucester is coming soon, and we've kind of helped him with some content on some different businesses and groups and all that sort of stuff. So
What have you done?
Supplied we supplied a load of business information, so we can kind of have a bit of a business directory in there.
Okay.
But there's been other
Nettl supplied business information.
with the Gloucester bid hat on them, or the business improvement district.
It's just bells of Cambridge Analytica ringing up here. Why is Nettl distributing business data?
I'd like to disclaimer: Nettl isn't distributing business data.
Do you want to speak to your lawyer?
No, but seriously though, what do you mean?
as the Gloucester bid, the business improvement district, it's more with that hat on. So
Okay.
you can get aspect. So in the hopefully, and we're yet to see how it transpires. But in this community app, if you want to know, okay, what jewellers are there in town? These are all the jewellers and that sort of stuff. Really. So,
But why has Nettl got that information? I don't understand.
Only Nettl hasn't as such. It's more the business improvement district. We look
I
after
see.
the website for
Okay, I
bid,
see.
but
Yeah.
so but it's more with the, as I said, bid hat on, which I'm part of that was able to supply.
So just to clarify, it's not you getting all your business information from all your clients and shoving
not.
over to these
It's
guys.
absolutely not.
No.
God, I don't know about making business from a podcast. This is going to ruin going under. No, yeah. So that's that. But there's lots of other sort of parties around the town, and interested parties sort of submitting more information into it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the Smart World Connect kind of app.
It's a bit off subject, but the bid, when I was at Nettl, prior to doing what I do now, it was that whole bid thing just started and kicked off. Where are we at now with that? What's it doing? What's your role in it now?
It's 3 years in, I think. It's for a 5-year period, and then we kind of go for re-electing and see whether the business community wants to carry it on for another 5 years. I'm on the board of directors of it. There's a number of other business owners that are. And so essentially there's a business improvement district, for those not aware, and it's not a plug for this, but there's no reason to plug it because you can't do anything with it. But all the businesses of an area, there's quite a lot of bids all around the country. They all pay in a fee that then the bid board kind of use to do good for that area, sort of thing. So there's 8 main areas that we look after. Marketing of the area is one. Safety and security is another, for example. So a really good win that we've been having is we've got a load of CPOs, community protection officers. They're doing a lot of good on the streets, and they've stopped X amount of money from shoplifters and all that sort of stuff, really. So yeah, it's
like giving back a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of on the ground, and they're kind of, like a Bobby on the beat might have been back in the day, but they've got good rapport with the various people and organisations of the town. So yeah, there's lots of other areas that we look at as well, but yeah, it's doing good.
So when is this Smart World Connect officially launching? I can't remember if he said.
Can't remember the exact date, to be honest. No, but it's being to the new year. I think they're building various things now. But
it was always a question of how do you compete with? Well, for me anyway, it was always a question with this. You wasn't at this one either, was you?
No, that's why it was so amazing.
The question for me was always, how do you compete with similar platforms that dominate already, that do similar things? So yeah, Facebook and
from
Facebook
a feature standpoint, the other networks already have the user base and have similar features. So how do you fight against that kind of thing?
Yeah, and very much so the niche, if you like, was the locality of it.
Yeah.
And playing an integral role in the community as opposed to a much broader reach, which the bigger platforms would have.
I've got a weird question. I don't know if this will upset a few people, but do that many people care about the local community that much?
Ooh.
Bit controversial.
Hopefully, Sam.
Hopefully, yeah. In an ideal word, but
I don't know. Yeah, hopefully they do, and knowing of other groups that are around there and kind of getting out and about and stuff.
Okay, maybe I'm just a bit pessimist.
I think there's an element of me that thinks the same thing. Not
in a negative way, but
no.
Like, people are busy. You got like family, kids, jobs, and all the rest of it.
It's like this whole thing with the high street and saving the high street and all that kind of thing. I think there's a lot of an element of, do we need to do that? Do we need to save the high street? Do we need a community in the old-fashioned sense? And I think the answer to that is yes to all of the above, but it just needs to evolve in a more modern way that connects with a younger audience, because ultimately the
younger audience. I think it is.
And it's just like an experience thing, isn't it? Really, it's I think, as we said before when we talked on the episode, Apple don't need high street shops, for example. They can sell all that they do through their website and online, but people go there and you kind of interact and you play with some of the cool things, and you sort of have that experience, really. So I guess other places, going out for drinks with your mates or going out, for coffee, social, and bite to eat and all that. Yeah, it's more that side of it. It's just got to evolve, I think, hasn't it, really?
I just think that any changes at the high street make or whatever, that at the forefront of that thinking needs to be the younger audience, because ultimately they are the future, and we can. It sounds harsh that just disregard older people because they're old, but do you know what I mean? It is ultimately that's what the future should be potentially looking to do. Amazon is like, with the whole Amazon shopping thing, they're opening up brick and mortar stores now, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Where you can just walk in, take stuff off the shelf, and walk out again. And now I read an article about that, how that sort of kills what traditional shops used to be. I had a conversation with my dad about how when his mum used to go to the shop, it wasn't just going to the shop to get something, it was an outing. They'd meet with friends and have a chat over the fence before they go, and sort of that kind of thing. And that's the bit that's dying, that you could potentially argue that it's sad that side of it is dying. But that's where I think, perhaps the high street needs to evolve in that, more focus on social and less on commerce, because all of that can be done online. With
the Amazon stuff and with the evolution, it has to be a bit more. You have to be a bit more aware of the tech that needs to happen, of course, behind the scenes, but also the social part of it. It's like a good example is like replacing a doorman at a posh hotel with one of those big revolving doors. Essentially, they do the same thing. They all open the door for you and let you in, but the doorman can also point you to a good cab or can recommend a good restaurant. And that feeling, that safety, that connection with someone else that you would get, it's hard to replace with just tech. What Amazon are doing is essentially just making a normal social human experience and making it transactional. And not really taking into account that we're not bots, we're not units on a scale. We're just like a person with feelings and emotions and all that nonsense.
Changing the subject a little bit, and it reminded me, as Chris mentioned, an Apple store. I know you guys are aware of this because I shared it with you, but the new Mac Pro is out.
The £52,000 computer.
Yes, that was the bit I needed to share. Yeah. So
without the screen, by the way.
With our listeners. Yeah. So I built the maxed out the computer with all the high specs on there and with all the extra bells and whistles.
There's more specs coming soon as well.
Is there? So yeah, 54 grand. What? 54 grand
without a monitor.
It sounds like a lot, right? And it is a lot, of course it is. But you get free delivery.
And if you've got that amount of money, then yeah. But what, like, compared to an off the shelf, say a couple of grand new Mac or whatever, what?
Well, no, this is it. So it is obviously targeting really, really high end.
Like pro
me, you, Joe Blogs at home, they don't buy these computers. This is for like
Pixar animators, music producers.
They'll have servers running.
Processing power of about like 10 normal Macs or whatever.
I mean, it's huge, and they still grow because now it's out and people have got their hands on it. I've been watching some videos on YouTube, what people think and whatever. And there's a lot of people that still got this whole problem with the £1,000 stand for the screen,
right?
But that's because they're out of that world, that high-end world, where actually, take animators and Pixar as an example. If you've ever seen their studios, I don't know.
I go there every time.
Yeah. But their screens, they might have 2 or 3 of their screens up in front of them, and they're all on arms.
Yeah.
And they do that on purpose so they can turn their screens horizontally or landscape, etc.
Yep.
So actually, it's abnormal to have that stand.
To have it fixed.
To have it fixed to a stand. So that's why they're selling it separately. Now, the bad way they've done it is by saying it's an extra grand to have this, whereas actually what they probably should have marketed it as, it costs X amount of money. Wrong. We'll take £1,000 off if you don't have the stand. Then there'd be less fuss about it.
Yeah.
But no, 54 grand. And there are server versions available of it.
Oh, right.
So you'll buy it and they lay flat. Okay. So you might have
stacks of them.
I
watched a really interesting video. I watched, I forget his name. It's quite big on YouTube, Jonathan something. But he actually had bought one and I don't know, you might have seen it. He took it to some music producers. They have produced stuff like Justin Bieber and all the rest of it. And they were sort of like, they work on Macs similar to what we do. And they said that during a studio session, the Mac, even if it's maxed out, like my one or yours, Ian, it's just like, it would crash every 2 to 3 hours. And they were blown away by, the amount of headroom they had to be a bit more creative and add more, I don't know what they call it, tracks and all the rest of it. And it's sort of like unleashed a bit more creativity. So I think if you're in that world where you are, if you've got a Mac and it's regardless of what you do, it's not enough, you want to do more, that's who it's for. It's for the people who are at the top level, elite creatives who are doing things that are like out of this world.
I was watching MKBHD talk about it. And he
does everything in 8K.
Uses a red camera. It's high-end stuff.
And it doesn't touch it.
Well, not only that, but even he said it's overkill for him.
Yeah.
So if it's overkill for him, then, I mean, Jesus, it's for people, that are doing
leaps
crazy
and bounds
things.
ahead.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, that's enough about that.
Cool. Okay, now, next, we're back to, next, number 9 was Alan from Digital.
A subject close to all our hearts, I think.
SEO.
Yeah. I quite liked that episode. I learned quite a lot from speaking to Alan.
2-part episode. I think we all and anyone who has experience in it has opinions. And it's interesting that it works like that, because it just goes to show how there is no hard and fast rule for SEO, really.
No.
Everyone's got their opinion of how things should be done, and it's always slightly different. It's only sort of the industry leaders, the experts, and
Rand Fishkin,
those kind of the likes of him and people that have previously worked for Google's algorithms and that kind of thing that you listen to and take for fact. But even that kind of stuff is
I've seen, because I'm on Twitter, unlike you guys. I actually follow them, and there is sort of I suppose elite level guys. They go back and forth on various topics all the time. There's always a bit of disagreement and sometimes agreement as well.
Yeah,
they have different opinions on the same thing,
which I just think cements that SEO is an industry in itself, of course, and it works. And if you know what you're doing, you can achieve good results. But it's just so. I still find it unmeasurable.
Finger in the wind kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you could pay agencies hundreds of thousands. Well, not hundreds. Well, yeah, you could. Depending on the size, you could pay and
you could pay us
potentially not really see much result. Would you say that's fair, Chris? You're well into
you
it.
can also pay.
Yeah, I love it. I love all that world. I think there is certainly stuff. Yes, you can't guarantee results, of course, because if you could, then everyone would want to press that button. But you can show the work that you're doing and prove that this is what we're doing out there. But also over time, you would definitely see, you'd see results, and you could kind of go, look, you're ranking for this, and this is what we're working on, and you would improve over time. So
and that's exactly what Alan said, and it's true. Yes, but
it's like
there's so many variables. Let's say you're looking to rank for
brown shoes
in Gloucester. That came up a lot, didn't it? Yeah, so brown shoes in Gloucester. Now, you could probably achieve results within Gloucester, but if I carried out that same search result in Scotland, then the results would be different because there's so many variables. Even based on the time of day that I carry out that search, the amount of traffic that's particularly going to that.
And even
search
if I add anecdotal, like my experience, I can because I'm up and down the country a lot. If I'm in London and I go to the Midlands or whatever, Google sometimes still thinks I'm in London and serves me results which are completely irrelevant. So even the data Google has on the user, so if you've got your location turned off, for example, then the results that you see are skewed and weird anyway.
Yeah.
So there is like a lot of stuff you can't control.
And you could do all that work of ranking for brown shoes, but actually the results are very different to carrying out the search in one place to another.
Yeah.
But if like you say, if you're local in Gloucester and you said brown shoes, then you get certain results. But if you're in London, but then you search for brown shoes in Gloucester, you should get those results that you get the same as if you're in Gloucester. So
but you don't.
That's how
it's always a little bit.
There's always a difference. Well, I've found anyway. There's always a difference.
There are some, for some searches that will always there's some sort of I don't know what is legends, I guess, for certain terms that are always there that I always see for certain things. But unless you're like ASOS, like a big brand, most smaller companies that I've seen are like a bit up and down.
Yeah.
And depending on which order you put the word in, but of course, all of the phrasing and all the rest of it, that can change slightly. If someone makes a typo somewhere, that can change the result slightly.
So we know Nettl obviously does SEO. So how do you show your customers results? How do you report back and say, this is what you've achieved this month for this spend?
You can give logins to a portal where we do all the stuff. So we commit to doing so many hours per month on 4 hours offsite and 4 hours on site, for example, on one of our starter packages. But we can show you where all the links are that you've now got links into your website. Is
that like? Sorry, you mean publishing content elsewhere?
Yeah, but on the say beginner packages, it's kind of like listed in directories and those sorts of things.
Right.
But you're showing, these are all these links that we've got into you.
What's happening at the top end then?
What with
top end package? If bottom end is business directories,
there's a lot more sort of off-site written articles and blogs and that sort of stuff. So you're kind of getting the better,
higher value,
juicier content. Yeah, and we'll write blogs to put on your website as well, sort of thing. But then all the on-site stuff, there's all the initial quick win stuff that you can do, but then there's also certainly with big e-commerce sites, there's got some really tools that dig into it, but there's lots of technical issues that can go on with websites, and it's kind of ironing all those out, really broken links, fixing all those, and optimizing the speed and all those sorts of things, which you might go, okay, I've got a 5-page website, there's no broken links, and it is what it is. But there's lots you can kind of carry on evolving and building and doing stuff
and working around that.
And Alan's expertise and where we work with him on some campaigns is the kind of that getting that juicier, good level, good quality links back into your website, putting good content out there on the web, so that you are who you hang with, is something Alan mentioned, wasn't it? Really, so doing that level stuff. So
I still think that ads trump. I shouldn't say that, but to some extent trump it, and we agreed, didn't we, that you should do both. You should do both, really, where possible, where budget allows. But for that quick win, short term, ads will
bang some ads on there.
I think the only my biggest counter argument to is if you've only got £1,000, whatever, to spending on social SEO or ads, is the fact that Google will always put the ads on top. So you could have a really amazing SEO campaign, and all it takes is for someone like me to be really, really cocking up. Yeah, I'll steal those keywords, stick them in Google Ads, run the ads, and we'll always be on top of you forever. and there's nothing you can do about it.
But yeah, absolutely. But I guess again, the slight counter argument to that is you've always then got to be paying. Put £1,000 into your ads and you'll get your 100 clicks or whatever it is per click sort of thing. Whereas some money into SEO, then a year down the line you might be able to turn off the ads and you're top of the naturals anyway. Sort of thing. And it's interesting. Again, it sticks with me that stat that Alan mentioned. So in your normal Google results page, 15% of people click on the ads at the top. 80% of people click on the person at the top of the natural free listings. So
that's right.
So I can't remember what percentage click on the maps, but then it kind of tails off underneath that. So like I said,
that sort of suggests as well that people are just becoming more savvy with how it works.
And actually, Google have gotten onto that because they've changed their UI. So now they used to be like the green that we're all used to seeing. That was ad. Now it's ad like
on a mobile.
It's just a little tiny piece of bold text. Just add on it.
That's right.
It'd be interesting when people at Google going, since we made that change, now from going from 15% of people clicking on ads, we're now at 25% or whatever it is. It's
I'm sure that's kind of why they did that.
So that was our 10 episodes.
It was
9. Yeah,
it was good fun. I enjoyed it. We can now. I mean, we're coming up. Timing is just right because we're coming up to the hour. So I think let's cover off our plans for next year.
Yes, we're going to get you on camera. We're going to show everyone your bits.
That wouldn't be a good thing.
Yeah. So again, some feedback we had, some questions we had was about recording it and then whether we can put our recordings of these podcasts out there.
That is, if there's anyone out there who has experience in that, we can fumble our way through it, but it'd be good to...
We've been doing a bit of research, haven't we, in terms of how we can record that, so we can kind of...
It's harder than it...
Because ultimately, Ian does the editing of these episodes, and although I took the mick about not pressing the big red record button, does a good job of editing down the series. But then, it feels like if we then got video
to edit and sync,
another job to do.
You can't do it separate, and otherwise we'll just get out of sync, sort of look like some bad subtitled dubbing or whatever. some
old school karate films going on.
Yeah.
For me, it would be another job to do. And you can't just have a static camera because that just looks boring. If there's just it could be like a security camera just in the corner watching everyone. It needs to be a bit more interesting and cut to people that are talking.
Like 4 or 5 cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, not quite. Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And syncing up audio with the good quality podcast audio with the video. So that I know there's tools out there that can do it, but I haven't got the time to look into that and all whatever. So if there's anyone out there that knows how to do that, drop us a message.
I say we should just do it live.
The
video should be just live to tape, just film the entire thing.
Oh, you mean like a Facebook Live? Somewhere?
Recorded live.
Because it flips to the mic and it flips to the camera of like who's talking at the time. So again, if that could be a way. I don't know how we achieve it, but definitely scope there for someone more knowledgeable in the podcast and recording world than us to help us out and get lots of free plugs. And
let's get Ian on video because
Should we try and get a sponsor?
I don't know how we tried, but absolutely, that'd be great.
I think it's about time, isn't it? We've been doing it for 6 months. No, we haven't been doing it for 6 months. God,
your maths is horrible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 4 or 5 months.
3, 4 months.
No,
it was like right at the end of August.
September, October,
but it's right at the end of August, so that's
good thing we don't teach
maths.
Okay.
Anyway,
I think we should. I think we should get a sponsor or try and get a sponsor. And
if you make audio equipment or video equipment, or
perhaps you can help out there.
Sort that out. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
We'll give you all our stats. Should we share the stats? I haven't got a problem with sharing.
I don't know the stats.
It's not terrible. So I can tell you that our average uniques, so
individual people.
That's right. Yeah, is averaging 500 a month.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I don't know what's good.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that as well. Yeah. And I can
consider we're not famous and we're basically.
So 500 is not terrible, but I don't know what's good. As I say, I'm sure we're not up there with Joe Rogan, but
no, just a few million short.
But I'm happy with that 500 and growing. It seems to sort of fluctuate up and down and a bit more up than a bit more down. And the most popular episode more recently. So our most popular episode for a considerable amount of time was Rich Lee.
Okay.
And I think just because it's Rich Lee and I think he's quite well known in his game and whatever. So I think
he's got reach. He probably pushed out, didn't he, through his socials and stuff like
that?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, which probably helped. And that was closely followed by Maybe Tech.
Oh, right.
Okay. Yeah.
Then Jonathan Pollinger.
JP.
And then down from there. But actually what's trumped all of those significantly by almost double is Alan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Digital, and I think it's the subject.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's the subject. SEO, and it's a little over 1,000 uniques.
Oh, wow. That's not bad.
Nice.
But oddly, for the second
Yeah.
episode, so it's like what you said earlier. It's odd that people have listened to you'd expect
listen
more
to part 2 than part 1. Yeah, expect. Yeah,
that is weird.
That's strange.
But
I look very confused right now.
So yeah, that's our kind of stats, and growing up was from there. So if you'd like to sponsor us for something, I don't know,
1,000 people listen to me.
That's
It's nuts.
that's
although actually the ones that we've said are the most listened to there. That isn't that the couple that you weren't on.
Shut up, Chris.
that's true actually.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So we can look at
Nice.
some sponsorship. So
Yeah, or
that's
even
what we're doing.
if you don't want to sponsor, but you want to help us get a set up, and you could come and do an episode about getting filming set up on podcasting.
Yeah, that'd be cool, and
that'd
get
be-
us set up at the same time.
Yeah.
Cool.
If there are any video production companies, that'd be really good. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll look to do that
Plug in
next year, and we're going to look to video it next year in some way.
Woohoo.
Hmm?
I said woohoo.
Yeah, we're gonna look to video it in some way next year. We have been uploading the episodes to YouTube just as audibles. However, the platform that I use actually has recently died, and they're busy trying to fix it. So the latest episode from Alan isn't actually there yet, but it will be when they fix the problem. And and YouTube hasn't seen a lot of listens as
No,
you'd
I think
expect.
every time I check, it's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, actually, but are you talking about subscribers or listens, actual plays? Okay,
Subscribers.
so plays are a lot more, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
Well, not a lot more, but consider it. So you could sort of add that to the podcast
Total.
numbers, and
It's hard to measure podcast because people listen sort of, they drop in, drop out, they go on
That's
different
right.
platforms.
There's also Apple, particularly, will automatically download the next episode or when an episode is released. So there's
You
argument
can
to
turn
say
it off though. I've turned it off.
you can, but there's argument to say that if you don't know how to turn that off, people are potentially having the episodes automatically downloaded, and that counts as a unique. And whether they listen to it or not is
It's a different matter.
It is a different matter, But still, I'm going with yes, they listen to it, and we're looking at that.
why wouldn't they actually? It's good value.
Why not? Future guests as well.
Good value on the basis it's free. So
Oh,
we're good for free. Absolutely, yeah.
Future guests, Chris, you can share. We've got
always welcome for any other suggestions and people that might want to share their digital marketing based love through our aforementioned audiences and uniques and all that stuff. But some people we have got lined up is Chuck called Emerson. He's kind of works with the same company as Polly, the Maybe, but he's chatbot expert and all that sort of messenger based stuff. He's been out to some conference in Texas not that long ago. So that's all quite cool. I got an AdWords, fully qualified AdWords professional, handles a lot of big accounts. That'd be quite interesting. I know you guys do a bit of that as well, so I'm sure you'll be able to chip in and
Arm wrestle
on that stuff. And then, various other, I've got My Connects, which is, I'll tell you more about when we get to that. He's interested, I think, in doing one. And I think if you're interested, it'd be good to speak to the guys from Graphenia, but they're the company behind, I know you know Ian, but the company behind Nettl and other brands that they look after. But
should we talk to the people behind Nous at some point?
If you think we can get some time in their diaries, if you know their availability.
They're busy. They're very busy.
But and various other people, but a few other on the list here. But as I said,
friends,
get in touch.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we've done the hour. It's been a good year. It's been
hasn't been a year.
No.
Here he goes again.
No, but I'm talking more from a personal perspective, having started a new business. It's been longer than a year. It's been, strictly speaking, it's been
close to 2 years.
Well, a number of years, to be honest, but it kind of evolved. So officially, strictly speaking, it's been a little over a year as Nous, and it's been an interesting one, and we've grown, and it's growing, and it's exciting times ahead. We've launched a podcast. We're doing other things behind the scenes as well. You've potentially landed your first big time client and written your first big time proposal and all of that kind of stuff. So that'll be good. I know that Nettl's doing some interesting things as well coming up. When I've left, you or Nettl were getting on board with a signage company.
Yeah.
Or bought a signage company.
Absolutely.
Has that happened? And
they
that's
have
all official?
Acquired that all part of it. Yeah,
it's all done, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, it has been a good year, and it's been good doing this podcast, and I look forward to doing next year. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. This was our sort of 2019 wrap up.
Yep.
Have a good Christmas. Have a good New Year.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Nice. See you on the other
Bye.
side.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode.
If you did, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And most importantly, leave us a comment or review on Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us to bring you new episodes regularly.
If you've got something to say around digital marketing and would like to feature on a future podcast, please do get in touch in any of the usual ways.
You've been listening to Hit Publish with myself, Sam.
Me, Ian.
And me, Chris.